-4.
What?
Because I supposed to.
What are you talking about?
Did you not watch Game 3?
I watched every second, unfortunately, of every game. Did you watch Game 5? What are you talking about? A -4?
Well, go ahead.
No, your turn. You're the man.
No, I'm done. Go ahead. Because I'm tired of you cutting me off. I say something, you look like you.
Go ahead. You off? What are you talking about?
Go ahead. I'll follow you up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
You're going childish on me?
Because you won't let me speak.
I just had a quick...
It's not your turn
I was just reacting. You cut me off all the time.
Okay, you can react when it's your turn.
I'll sit over here in the corner. I'll listen to your wisdom. Go.
I gave it a -4 because I saw this team have a 26-point lead in the first half. Blow that. I saw them have a 25-point lead in the second half. Blow that. I spoke of this yesterday. The reason why I picked the Memphis Grizzlies, because I told you Minnesota played dumb basketball. They get these leads, and all of a sudden, they have a 13-point lead, and somebody think if they come down and hit a 3-point shot, all of a sudden the lead is going to grow to 36. You see Anthony Edwards, they get a lead. He comes down and take willy-nilly shots like he's at a park. We see Karl-Anthony Towns early in the shot clock take a one-legged step back shot like he's Dirk Nowitzki. They turned the ball over 23 times in the ball game. And with 4 seconds on the clock, we watch Anthony Edwards go high side, try to steal the ball, give Ja a direct path to the basket with only 4 seconds. In a situation like that, you don't need to be the hero. So am I impressed? No, because I've seen them make dumb play after dumb play after dumb play, dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision, turnover after turnover, time and time again. How many times since Game 3, they've had double-digit leads in every single game that gets whittled down? Why? Because this is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are a young team, but youngness doesn't give you an excuse to play dumb basketball. Anthony Edwards knows better. Why would you ever? It's the same thing what Paul George did. You remember against LeBron James? He goes high side and lets LeBron James lay the ball up. More times than not, we've seen in this series and throughout the year, Ja Morant loves to get to his left hand, loves to lay the ball up. And what does Anthony Edwards do? Try to go for a steal. Why in that situation would you try and go for a steal? Give him a direct path to the basket with 4 seconds. Just play. If Ja Morant raises up, Skip hits a 25, 27-foot jump shot on you, you say, hey, coach, he hit it. Give him credit. But you can't let him lay the ball up. So that's why I'm unimpressed. Give Memphis credit. But you know when you down 13 in the fourth quarter, somebody's got to do something really bad because there's no 13-point shot for you to get it back all at once. Chuck Clarke get 10 rebounds in the fourth quarter, 7 offensive rebounds. What the hell?
Yeah, Brandon Clarke.
Brandon Clarke. Where the hell is Karl-Anthony Towns?
I don't know. That's a good question.
So, Skip, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. It's like miss after miss, and Clarke gets the ball. Clarke gets the ball. Clarke has it again. I'm like, cat. And how many? In his previous life, nobody can convince me. In his previous life, Karl-Anthony Towns didn't play football because all he does is run the hell over people. Skip. It's almost like he's a baby giraffe, and he doesn't have control of the extremities. Skip, he just gets.
But fake tough guys don't play football.
Wait, Skip. Wait. Explain to me how he always running over people. Half of his fouls are charges. So that's why Skip. Ja was sensational. Scored the last 13 points. He was 9 of 10 in the fourth quarter. I think he had 18 points in the fourth quarter. But
he had 16 the last 6 minutes of the game.
Skip, but Minnesota, the series should be over. The series literally should be, Skip, they should have won the series 4-1. They should be going home, what is it, 17, getting ready for somebody. I don't know, Memphis, getting ready for Golden State, something. They should be getting ready for someone.
That is true. That is true.
How do you lose a game, Skip? How do you lose a 26-point lead, a 25-point lead in the same game in different halves? And you ask me, well, how surprised am I? I'm not surprised at all because this is the Minnesota that we've seen this playoff series. That's why I'm not surprised. I'm not taking anything away from Memphis, but this was on Minnesota. This was more had to do with what Minnesota didn't do as opposed to what Memphis did do.
Okay. I obviously saw a completely different game through the prism of I picked Memphis to win the West.
Right.
And
I picked Memphis yesterday. I picked them to win in 6.
Okay, I think deep down, because I picked Memphis to win the West, I think you're rooting against Memphis to make me look bad.
No, Skip, I want to get my pick right.
Okay, but you said it should be over, and I concur. That's the one point I agree on. It should be way over.
Yes.
Memphis should be done.
Yes.
Memphis should be home. Memphis should be going to Cancun.
Yes.
Which is why on the shock scale of 1 to 10, I am a full-on 10. I saw no signs of life. Deep into that game, well into the fourth quarter, I saw no signs of life from my Memphis Grizzlies except a dunk by Ja Morant. Mm-hmm. It's like effortless, and he's looking around like, what else did you expect from me?
Right.
And I'm thinking, that's it. Case closed, because I don't think they can go up to Minnesota and beat them coming off a home loss. I think it's going to be over in 6 games.
Okay.
And then it gets even worse because Karl-Anthony Towns gets fouled shooting a three-point shot with 6:53 left in the game, and he makes all 3, and that makes it 99-88 visiting team.
You still up 11.
It's an 11-point game with 6:53, and again, at that point, I've seen no signs of life from my quote-unquote superstar.
Right.
We closed the show yesterday with me sitting right here, as in, what do you expect tonight? And I said, it's time for Ja to walk the talk. You got to play the talk. You got to jump the talk. You got to shoot the talk. Mm-hmm. You have to run up the chimney through the smoke, like you said, and exit the top of the chimney, because at the moment, young Ja, you're stuck in the middle of the chimney and you are choking on the smoke.
Okay.
Because he just hasn't been that dude, that guy, that quote-unquote superstar in the first 4 games. Because we agreed that, remember, they blew game 1 at home. Then he posts the Michael Jordan from the 98 Last Dance documentary.
Yes.
You know, saying it's just 1 game, like you're comparing yourself to Jordan. And I'm like, just stop it, okay? So you come out and you do win game 2, and then he celebrates like it's over.
Right.
And I'm saying, you know, I like the attitude, but it's a little premature for me. And then game 3, they go win it in spite of my guy Ja. They win it in spite of, because he was horrendous in the fourth quarter, as you know. 2 of 8, but he had 3 terrible turnovers, and I don't know how they did it, but they won the fourth quarter 37-12. A lot of it could be dumped on the doorstep of the home team at that point, the Timberwolves, and yet Ja celebrates. He goes and gets the basketball and heaves it up into the rafters like, it's over. We just vanquished the Timberwolves, and we're moving on to the next. No, you're not moving on to the next round. You're moving on to game 4.
Correct.
And they lose game 4 predictably. And here we go. It's do or die to me last night at home.
Yes.
And I reiterate, with 6:53 left, the guy that you shamed on Twitter, the guy who said, we in Minnesota now. Well, we in Memphis now, right?
Yes.
And guess what? In Memphis, Minnesota was ahead 99-88 with 6:53 left. And a shocking thing happened to me. Ja Morant turned back into Ja Morant.
Yes.
And after the end of the game, he's going, just call on me. Like, you call my number. And they're all saying after the game, we just called 12. And 12, as in Ja Morant, went 12, as in Brady-esque down the stretch, because he just flat out clutched up and took the whole game over, because it's hard to score 16 points in the last 6:53 of a game. I don't care how poorly the other team is playing. But the other team is hard on this team, because the other team is actually a mirror image of this team. It's young and sometimes dumb. So are the Memphis Grizzlies. Right. And yet it's full of itself. Karl-Anthony and Anthony Edwards and even D'Angelo, they all come in and play like they mean it, like they're not afraid of the Memphis Grizzlies, because they don't seem to be afraid. So what am I thinking? I'm cooked like barbecue.
Skip, they're not afraid, but they're not mentally as tough-minded as Memphis.
That is the beautiful outcome of last night. Once again, the team I picked to win the West showed you an all-time edge of resilience that you rarely see in a basketball team, where I'm talking about 1 through 10, they just flat out believe they're just going to pull this off somehow, some way. And Brandon Clarke is the unsung MVP so far of the whole playoffs. I don't care what you say. They are done without Brandon Clarke, because all he kept doing last night was look what he did.
Offensive rebound.
Yeah, he got 9 offensive rebounds. I would take 9 rebounds total, but he got 9 offensive. He got 15 total. He gave you 21 points and 15 rebounds in 37 minutes. I'll take it because they're all crucial clutch rebounds.
Yeah.
And as
Skippy gave you 5 points and 10 rebounds in the fourth quarter. 7 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so now let's start going to the sequence at the end of the game. So my man Tyus Jones, I love Tyus Jones. And again, now they're trying to play Tyus and Ja together because Tyus is actually a little better point guard than Ja is as far as decision making. He's a 2. I don't know what he is. He's just a spectacular scorer of the basketball. But Ja can play out of control going down the lane. He can lose it. He missed shots in the fourth quarter. He missed, 4 or 5 shots? I think he missed 5 shots in the fourth quarter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 shots.
9.
Okay, so remember, he did miss 5 shots.
Right.
And every time he would miss, I'd be like, Ja, just slow down. Just cool out a little bit. Just back off and take it as it comes. Okay, so Tyus, who I trust is a clutch shooter, misses a 3. And by the way, before the dunk, just for the record, Ja had scored a total of 10 points on 4 of 12 from the floor. And guess what he had done from the free throw line to that point before the dunk?
Oh, he was
terrible. He was 2 of 7 from the free throw line.
He was terrible.
And by the way, for the whole game, he missed 6 free throws. He was 11 of 17. Well, usually that will get you beaten, right?
Yes.
And usually when the visiting team, just look at the 3-point discrepancy for the game.
Yeah, 14-33.
Yeah, and guess who led the whole NBA in 3-point shooting this year? It was the T-Wolves.
Yes.
Okay, so they make 14. The home team makes only 7 of 28. That's a grand total of 25%. So you get outscored 14-7 times 3. You get outscored by 21 points at home from the 3-point line. Won't that usually get your butt beat?
Of course.
Well,
and they missed 13 free throws.
Okay, missed 13 free throws. You should have lost, should have lost, should have lost. Okay, so now Ja comes up clutch and makes. I fell out of my chair when he made a 3 because as soon as he went up to shoot it, I'm almost like Westbrook, like no.
I know it was over once he made that shot. Skip.
Okay, well that started it downhill for the visiting team, and then obviously Ja missed a floater, Brandon Clarke missed one, but then I got to show you this because you want to talk about. I'm like down on my knees on these. This is 8.2 seconds left. We got Ja shooting free throws. These are huge. And obviously, he'd missed 6 free throws up to this point. And I'm thinking, surely you can defend the 3.
Right.
And Chris Finch calls one of the great...
That was a great skill. That was a great play design.
Strategic designs I've ever seen because you don't have much time left. And they swing it around and back pick for Ant-Man going to the far corner.
Dive to the corner.
And a great bounce pass from McLaughlin. They're just going to pull this off. And it felt like it was going to go overtime at that point. And I'm thinking, Karl-Anthony will make 2 more threes in overtime and they're sunk.
Right.
Okay, and here we go with the play in question because Ant-Man is feeling himself, and he's like, I'm going to win the game on defense.
Yes.
I'm going to go for the throat on defense.
Skip, with 4 seconds, you got to get something going to the basket.
Ooh, God, what a pass.
Everybody seems to know that except Anthony Edwards.
I agree. And when Ja got it unopposed going down the lane, I'm like, you're kidding. But now, that was not an easy shot that he made because Vanderbilt's in his way. Great name, Vanderbilt. And yet you got to go up and under with your left hand. But as you say, he's ambidextrous.
But this is him. This is his shot.
That's his shot. Up and under and sweet off the glass. Just lay it up nice and gentle off the glass. And I fell out of my chair again. It's ball game. Karl-Anthony got one last heave with 1 second left. But that's it.
At that point.
And to me, that just saved the series. It saved the season.
Yes.
It saved a whole offseason of anguish, like we were this and we ended up being that.
Right.
It would have been despair just echoing through this downtown Memphis. And instead, they're back in business.
They're back in business. They're back where they're 3-2 going back to Minnesota. Skip, we talked about this. They have a 26-point lead. They have a 25-point lead that they lose. Now, they have another big lead in the game, but it takes Karl-Anthony Towns coming up huge. He go 33 and 15 in order for them to save that. He played sensational last night. Yep. I just think sometimes, Skip, when they get a lead, everybody then all of a sudden thinks, you know what? This is going to be the shot that breaks their back. So if we up 13, I hit this 3, we're going to be up 22. And they just start Skip, 23 turnovers. But, I mean, they should be a little encouraged because they said, look, we can't defend a final play worse than we defended that one. We turned the ball over 23 times.
Yep.
We gave up 18 rebounds in the fourth quarter, and they only beat us by 2.
That is a fact.
If we just get a little common sense, we can beat this team. Skip, I believe they can beat this team in 7 games.
I believe they can.
But Skip, you can't continuously make those mistakes that they make. At some point in time, Skip, you make the same, okay, you win game 1, you play great. Game 2, okay. Now game 3, you make the same mistakes, game 3, game 4, game 5, which you should have won, and the series should be over. And I just don't, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, Ant, why are you coming down with 20 seconds on the clock, letting the 3 go, or shooting a contested 2? Cat, early in the shot clock, we don't need a step back Dirk Nowitzki. But that's who, and Memphis like, thank you. And next thing you know, Skip, okay, it's 11, it's 9, it's 7, it's 9, it's 7, it's 5. Now all of a sudden, it gets down and you see everybody, man, we had a third. They looking up just like you say with 6:53, they had an 11-point lead. They look up at the clock, it's 2 minutes, and we only got a 3-point lead. Yeah, that's exactly.
Dylan Brooks last night was 3 for 18 and 1 for 10 from 3.
Yes.
And Memphis survived that game. Help me out. How do you do that?
Right.
Well,
Skip only shot 41.5%. Ja was 9 of 22. Desmond Bain was 9 of 20.
and they ran him off the 3-point line as they should.
Yes.
They should just say you can't have that, and he managed to get 3.
Yes.
Okay? So in the end, I step back from this, and it leaves me a little limp because it's hard for me to love the team that I love going into this because they have not played up to the level I thought they could play, except for Ja down the stretch. And again, I reiterate, that dunk didn't change the game.
No.
It didn't jumpstart or inspire the Grizzlies.
It might have jump-started Ja.
That's what I said. Somehow, it made him feel like, okay, that's who I am, and I'm back.
Right.
And he made we both dismissed it as an excuse, like I'm not quite right off my sore knee. Well, after that dunk, you'd say, I think you're okay, right? I think you're going to be okay. So here they go, and now they're a 2-point favorite going up, I think it's Friday night, to Minnesota. Do I love their chance? I don't. Is this going to go 7 games? I'm pretty sure it will go 7 games. And then we will see what we see. But at least Ja Morant turned back into Ja Morant.
Skip, Memphis out-rebounded them 53-42, 18-6 on the offensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat.
How you survive.
I mean, we've seen Cat get you 20-20.
Yep. Well,
I mean,
he got you 12. And Vanderbilt got you 10.
Skip, no. You can't allow a guy to come off the bench and out-rebound you when you're the starter. Karl-Anthony Towns played 35 minutes. Clarke played 36 minutes, but he came off the bench. Can't let that man. You can't let a guy that comes off the bench, even though he plays more minutes, out-rebound you.
Yeah, he's the 6th man.
Yes.
He does not start the game. And, he's got a little Rodman in him, as in Dennis Rodman. You want to talk about nose for the basketball?
Well, I don't know how tall he is, but Rodman was an undersized rebounder.
Yeah.
He played below the rim. All of his rebounds were desire. I want the ball more than you. And he had a great understanding of, like, he could see the ball going up. Oh, it's going to come up over here. He takes off.
He could anticipate the carom.
Yes. But Skip, I'm just trying to figure out, after you said it, they've had these big leads. You agree with me. This series should be over. And you impressed with what Memphis did? Are you impressed that?
No, I'm just shocked that they came back because you shouldn't be able to. You should not be alive after this, Skip, and you are. You're barely breathing.
If you can come back twice in the same game from 26 and 25, don't you think you can come back from 13? What do you think they're thinking?
Well, is it good news or bad news that you keep getting down to this team?
Minnesota have to ask themselves, we get them down, we just can't hold them down.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this point. I remind you that last night Memphis jumped out to what I hoped would happen. They jumped out to a 13-2 lead, and they couldn't hold that.
No.
So neither team has been adept at holding on to leads.
Well, that's early in the game.
Yeah.
We saw what happened when Memphis got that big lead in the second game.
Yeah.
They raced out to a 30-point victory. And that's Minnesota. You get these leads, and all of a sudden you start getting careless with the basketball, start doing. And the fouls, stop. Skip, when you got to stop thinking, these fouls add up. Somebody on the breakaway, I stopped the break. Okay, that's one foul. The next thing you know, they're in the bonus with 5 minutes left in a quarter. And do you everybody looking around? Stop looking around. You fouled a man. Skip, don't know. I've never seen, if I'm Adam Silver and say, look, the next time somebody looks up their shoulder and talk about challenge, when you absolutely hit the guy.
Yep.
You beam the guy upside his head and talk about, what? That was a bad call. No, it's not.
By the way,
You're fouling him.
Commissioner Silver was sitting in the third row at this game last night.
Yes, they get on my nerve with that. I ain't fouling what? What? That's a bad call. No, it wasn't. It was a good call.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.